Question 1505. What should define a country when is independence justified?
Ooh.
Repeat that, please.
What should define a country when is independence justified?
I mean, as a general rule, I think you have to you have to just you have to, as a general rule, I tend to support anyone's right, any place's right to self-determination.
Freedom for tooting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's say, like, for example, I have no issues with like Catalonia or something, in Spain, declaring independence. I'd have no issue with something like that. It'd be a good example.
Godless Granny just says walls. Dawnuphead says when someone has overwhelming firepower. Second part, same answer.
Guns.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately what it does. That's unfortunately what it does come down to, because it's and no, I won't get onto Israel Palestine. I'm not going to touch that tonight.
Oh God.
Mel?
You're going to have to repeat the question.
What should define a country when is independence justified?
Okay. What should define a country?
Mm-hmm.
And when is independence justified? Well, I don't know. I think a country essentially they have specific set of ideologies, perhaps, governing body. Are we talking like I'm guessing that's what we're doing. A certain amount of land. This is like here. All these people live here. I'm an American, so it's like
should we use an example from American history? For an example, was the Confederacy justified as self-determination by those states or not? Would be a good example for this.
Okay. Well, if I'm a horrible human being and I wanted to be able to, maintain my slavery because it's cheaper, than paying people, it was mostly about having control of the commerce.
Yeah.
So if I want to be able to oppress other people, then in my mind, my independence is justified for that. But that's not me. I guess it's a matter of perspective. I don't think they should have at all seceded. I don't think the South should have done that. The Heritage Month with Mississippi, the Confederate Heritage Month. It's pretty gross. But if a group of people don't want to be a part of a country that has completely different ideologies from them, I can see in how they would be justified to want to separate from them. But, I don't know. It's just a tumultuous time all the time in America. So I'm constantly at odds. I just really wish the horrible people would secede, if I'm honest. Let's just kick them out. Let's just let them go. If Texas wants to be by themselves, we'll just let Texas be a country by itself. I'm sick of them anyway.
What about when California does?
If California goes, the rest of the country's screwed because we need them to vote for the blue, the Democrats.
Well, in the House and in the Senate, they've only got 2 senators. Where if you add up that population of 40 million, there's about 10 or 12 red states.
Yeah. I mean, The
We had a
senators each
yeah,
gets a 2 there, and then you got representatives. I'm
I think
counting
we
the
had a-
military
I think
there.
we had a similar argument about Scotland a few years ago, and looking at it now, I don't think that holds up.
It does. We are screwed. We are going to have a Tory government
They're,
for
they're-
20,
Scotland-
25 years
Scotland-
after
Oh,
leaving
easily.
Scotland.
be independent because it's the only country on earth where men wear skirts.
I'm all for the Scots, man. I like them. I think they're cool.
Yeah. I think they should get independence. I just think we're screwed
No.
if they do.
I wouldn't mind
didn't say
going
it
to
was-
live there. Do
I
they
didn't
need
say it
us?
was a bad thing. It was just
Right.
Let me go live there. Will they let
right,
me in the
catch-
college?
No, yeah, I mean, I was people mentioned a few times. I was actually born in Scotland, so
So you'd be okay.
yeah.
You'd sod off. Tusk says
I'd claim asylum. Yes, they
You claim asylum. Tusk says everyone has a right to self-governance. Occupation through invasion is not a valid form of administration. Does that make the entire of America not valid?
Yes.
We're not valid anyway. Most of the world hates us, so it's fine.
Junie, I've forgotten how to say it again. I'll write it down. Junie says when the claimed territory gets no attention from the mainland, example, assistance during natural disasters. So Puerto Rico should declare itself independent.
Honestly, I really, I would be fine if they wanted to declare their independence, but it's also not fair for us to keep them on the hook like this. You know what I mean? We need to give them assistance. We need to incorporate them as part of our country as their own state, or just let them go. We need to.
I definitely think that. I mean, because what I gather, I mean, there is like I think there is obviously people, Puerto Ricans that do want nothing to do with the US, but from what I gather, they are a minority. But yeah, I think this status Puerto Rico's got is very weird, and yeah, I almost think it should be incorporated as a full state.
Pale Blue Mama says, that's what I said, self-governance defines a country, so it's not a country until they have self-governance. Chad says, common economic interests form confederations like Canada. Identity changes in regions with immigration over time, so it's not the best way to control your tax code. I'm not sure that says whether it should be a country. Brainbug says, a country is a self-governing sovereign nation. Independence from an imperial power. Yeah, but at what point should it be determined? Theo Back says, self-determination of the population. You're basically all saying that people should just be able to vote themselves into a country, which I think is probably a very bad thing. I'm not sure.
my turn.
Go on.
Step one is they have to have either pre-established or near established political boundaries. Once that's established, the people within those boundaries need to determine if they want to be sovereign. And if they are involved with another body, such as the United States in the South, they need to negotiate with that larger body to secede, then do it.
But what if the central government does not want you to? If
the population is strong enough in favor, they'll go to war over it. And unfortunately, that's the nature of human beings.
So we're back to guns.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Pew,
Jade.
pew.
And that's not
mine's
how
the
it
same.
should. That's the way it is.
Badger.
What's the question?
Country.
Yes, I would like a referendum for Cornish independence, please.
Ooh, do we all get those little hens to eat?
It's
Yeah, let's split the whole place into counties. Actually, screw it.
Well,
that's-
Why
that's
stop
the
at
problem with
counties?
it.
Why not parishes?
That's the
I-
problem.
Parishes are too linked to the church.
Well, I like I said, I think it was I put in the chat I think when you were on Barman's stream the other week, Dave. Countries have a border dispute. They settle it with war. When counties have a dispute, they settle it with cricket.
And I
We
said, so
should
cricket
really
needs to be
have
banned.
like dance
So I
laws.
think counties aren't necessarily a bad thing in comparison.
I
Yeah,
think
but
there
they're
should
not
be
deciding-
dance-offs every
they're not
time.
deciding the
I
sovereign.
like
the
the dance off
sovereign
idea.
Yeah.
they're not deciding a sovereign definition of themselves with one county overruling the other. They're fucking around with a cricket game.
Cricket. Dance-offs. Dance-offs every time, man.
The problem is if we let tribalism rule,
Everyone
we're
loses
gonna have
in the
we're
end.
going to have a planet with a million and a half Luxembourgs, and who the
No,
hell
we're
wants
not.
that?
No. We let tribalism rule. We won't have 1.5 million Luxembourgs. We'll have a lot of dead people and a big empire.
Luxembourg is stupid.
I'm all for Star Trek land. Let's do that.
Right, Tusk
Star
says
Wars land.
Star Wars land. The Empire, done by force.
Yeah, it was
Tusk-
yeah. Well, it was the rebellion right to secede from the empire. Badger, I defer to you on this.
Oh, now that's a complicated topic. Because
No, it's not, because we're not going to answer it.
The rebellion started off with a lot of the forces carried over from the Confederacy of Independent Systems, which was also started by the Sith. However, it then became a nuisance to the Sith leadership of the Empire, so they kind of, it's a whole thing.
Good, shush. Right, Tusk says, the days of the Empire are over. You cannot claim sovereignty over a territory because you took it through force of arms. No, but apparently you can just put military bases all over the world and influence the place until they kind of just become you. Theo says, the only thing we mostly agree on is that conquering is a no-go. About how many people can self-determine and own new government is largely debated. Theo says Kosovo, Catalonia, Crimea, Kurds, Scotland, Northern Ireland, lots of questionable, denied, or empowered self-determination. The problem you've got is, okay, Crimea is a good example. They had a democratic election. They voted to leave and then join Russia. Should that have been allowed in that way?
Yeah, but as I understand it, Russia took advantage of their citizenship laws and stuffed the ballot box with immigrants. So
To be fair, the Soviet Union exported lots of Russians to Crimea.
Yes.
Decades before.
Yeah.
It's not like this is the problem you have when you start using population as a.
I mean, you are not. I mean, Jenny's not wrong about some of the history of Russian elections. But obviously, because I always laugh about the quote unquote, because technically the Soviet Union had elections, and they were, of course, they were an absolute farce. I mean, there was the famous occasion, I think, in the late 40s when, of course, in most constituencies for seats in the Supreme Soviet, there was one candidate, and surprisingly, they used to get around about 98% of the popular vote. And then there was a Stalin himself in the place where he was technically standing, managed to get something like 156% of the vote, which was explained away by them saying that they explained it away by saying Stalin was so beloved by the people that everyone from the neighbouring constituencies came to vote for him.
I bet.
But the kicker, the best bit about it is that incredibly they were run so well that the London Times had the results of the Soviet Union's elections one day before the elections took place.
That was convenient. That lets you get the news out sooner.
So let's just say somebody in TASS fucked up.
They should have done like a Darren Brown special where he predicted the election result.
Yes, they could have done it very well. All right, I need to say thank you very much to Ben Loco for your super sticker of $3. And she says, I must go off topic because I need to know, does the ball give one buns of steel? No, God, I wish. It hurt. It hurt I hurt my side way more than I thought. And all Manda could do was laugh. And Jeff and Robbie.
I tried.
I wasn't even there and I laughed.
And the 45,000 people who have watched the video.
I will say though,
Isn't that
that
your
isn't
most
the-
viewed video ever?
It might be.
I was going to say that isn't the moment that made me laugh the most on critical questions. That honour belongs to Badger. That answer he gave that time.
Ah,
That
yes.
time?
Just a minute, I'll find it.
Look,
Oh no!
No. Let's just say we'll just say we had a question about rocks are atheist kind of question. I'm like, not this again.
Kick him out
Yeah.
of the fucking panel.
I know. Right, there are two things I need to do before we move on. Right, Chad says one country, every country is part of Canada now. And Tatty says there are only two countries, Scotland and those that want to be Scotland.
No, because I view Fife as an independent kingdom. So.
I was going to say.
Oh, Badger, don't. Not again. Not again.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.